Don't judge me, Facebook. Unless I give you something to judge, but judge me by all of my actions, not just the bad ones. How you doing, Spreaker? We live for Candid Conversations, and apparently nobody wants to talk to me this week. Oh, wait. Speaking, you know what? I think I might have caught up with the Jones. Oh, shoot, we got Kyle Green out here as well. You know what? I'm going to invite Mr. Jones to speak on this. We'll give him an opportunity. Chilling, you know what I mean? Just living life. I got a couple shows this week. Hello.
How's it going?
Oh, man, it's going. I said, I can understand the phrase keeping up with the Joneses every time I see you. So, you know what I mean? It's like, I got so much happening, so much happened last week that I'm still dealing with. You know what I mean? And there's so much happening this week that I've got to deal with. So, I'm trying to figure out which is more important. But yeah, how you doing?
You're an intense guy. You're a hardworking guy.
Well, I try to be. You know what I mean? I got a family that I live for. You know?
Don't I know?
Just a side note, this episode of Candid Conversations is brought to you by Bush Ice, because I'm drinking it right now. All right, so shameless plug.
Are they paying you for that? They're gonna pay you to promo their stuff?
I'm hoping so eventually. For now, it's just a freebie. I figure they'll see me, and then maybe I'll end up on TV.
Yeah, true set.
You see it?
What's your topic of conversation?
Well, this week, I think the topic of conversation. Well, we have a few topics of conversation. All right, what up? Joe Johnson, Big Joe in the building, Sagato in the building as well. I think a first topic of conversation should be promoters and how they can better equip themselves to deal with issues that present themselves at events.
Well, I mean, if you're asking for experience, I don't have too much experience with promotion myself, but my cousin, her ex-boyfriend, was a promoter, and I remember listening to the stuff that he was working at Club 7 in Niagara Falls.
Okay.
So he was promoting they were like little techno little rave type deals. Anyway, so he was a promoter for them, and he would just bring the people in, and then they would treat him well when he was there. So it was like he wasn't really making any bank off of the event itself. He wasn't hosting the event or anything. He was just a referral guy, so he just brought people in.
Okay.
And then they would give him VIP booths. They would give him free bottles. He would be like the life of the party at the event. And it was basically like you scratch my back, I scratch yours type situation. Now, the only person who I've ever seen, besides a select few that me and you know, making serious money off events, to be honest with you, there's very few people that are making big money off of events and stuff like that, like promoting.
Yeah.
And it depends who it is.
Yeah.
It depends who's the headliner is. You know what I mean? It depends on who's...
Well, when the headline... that's the thing. I'm seeing shows where the headliner is getting screwed out of their performance spot. You know what I mean? And I'm not trying to name names, but if you know recent events, you know what I mean? Or if you follow recent events, then you know a little bit of what I'm talking about. It's just more that, the behavior of the promoter has to allow for, we all have to have a collective degree of respect for each other. As artists, as promoters, as entrepreneurs. And I think I don't see the same. It's like promoters expect us as artists to just do the work and don't complain about it. Take direction and, go. But it's you also have to come at us with a degree of respect. You have to respect the people that I bring with me too. You know what I mean? Because
one thing that kind of concerns me when I see these promotions going on is I don't really see a lot of ads being run for these promotions. And if you're doing something that's generating you revenue, you know what I mean? If you're generating money from the event, why not run an ad within your area? If Instagram so the people within your region would know, you know what I mean, that this is going on. Because as you and I both know, like these social media platforms really restrict your reach when it comes to the audiences, unless you're paying.
Yeah.
Unless you're paying for the audience reach, it's really restricted. So what I don't understand is even as low as $1 a day, you could launch a little tiny mini campaign or something and get probably twice, maybe 3 times as many ticket sales as you would normally just with hey, share this, and you guys, if you know somebody that wants to go to this event, then find them and they can buy a ticket. It's like that type of marketing doesn't really work anymore. Unless you have a big following of people.
I think I've thrown money. I've thrown money at a couple of online campaigns, and I found, and I don't know if it's just me, I found that the word of mouth worked better than the online campaign. Because I don't know if it's because of the region or what, but like I went through word of mouth channels. Okay. I went through word of mouth channels, and I got a better turnout than I did when I went through online channels.
Well, and that's another thing too, is that people really, really discredit Facebook groups. Facebook groups are a great way to approach people and get sales without having to actually pay for the ads, because those people, first off, A, they're already interested in what you're promoting. You know what I mean? And B, I'm sure that they're your friend and they would probably, be interested in going somewhere with you, or they know you're going to be there. Maybe they'll catch up with you. Like, it's just a great way to get that money without having to actually invest in it. But I'm talking specifically to people who have promoting companies or event companies specific to getting people out to shows. Yeah, you're going to want to run some ads. Like, it's a no-brainer. You're going to have to run some ads.
I don't doubt that, but I still find, like what you were saying earlier, there's a higher likeliness of people to come out when they're going to be treated well. Like, when they're treated like the star. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
So,
and that's kind of where people have segregated. If you get a VIP wristband, you get bottle in a booth or something like that, or you get backstage passes, or people have different levels of purchase that you can make. Whereas you buy a general ticket, it'll get you into the show. But if you buy the wristband, you get the VIP booth, and you can have bottle service and all kinds of other things.
And I find that
those upsells are in place is so that they can make as much money as possible.
I find that tiered system works, where like you can get entry for like $5, or you can get entry in a CD for like 10. You know what I mean? Like, that works. Throw a T-shirt in there and make it 25. A T-shirt and a CD 40. You know what I mean? Like, give them options and let them choose, because like the one thing might not be what they're looking for. They might be looking for more. I've had people ask me about hats, T-shirts for a while now, and you know what I mean? As soon as I printed them, they were basically done.
Yeah, and that's another thing, is that it's more or less about the offer, I think, anyways, in my opinion. Like, if you're offering more than, because there's a lot of people in a lot of shows. I mean, I just saw an incident yesterday where there was back-to-back shows. Like, one really good show was going on, but then there was another really good show that was scheduled for the same night in the same area. You know what I mean? And, like, when you do something like that, it's kind of counterintuitive if you have the same people that are usually attending these shows. It's like, now, well, this guy's going to this show and this guy's going to that show. So I think it's really important to kind of like take a look ahead and see what else is going on before you schedule this type of thing.
Yeah,
so that way you can maximize your revenue.
But inversely, you have people that will wait until they see someone going to do something and then do it.
Yeah, and it's a rare occasion. Anyways,
bro, it's rare.
I can't speak for anybody else.
It's a rare occasion, but like, I'm talking from a situation where I've been on the same instrumental as 2 different groups of artists. So, you know what I mean? Like, I did one track where another artist did it. I did a collaboration track where another artist was on that same instrumental, and then I just dropped a track called Body Language. And it just so happened to be one of the tracks that, one of the instrumentals that was leased by another entity, right? And I know both of these parties, so it's just like, But they didn't, like, I didn't know they were using the beat. They didn't know I was using the beat. It's just like, it was just like that. It was just a coincidence. But at the same time, it's like, now how do we move forward? Like, do I not put out my content because?
See, and that's the thing that is what I've seen as kind of a common theme recently is that these big offers are coming out for beat sales, for music sales especially. Well, I mean, that's what you're talking about, right? So
yeah.
In music sales specifically, like
What's
people
up,
are selling big files of the same thing, right? And everybody's buying it. So you've got thousands of people that are purchasing the exact same pack, the exact same thing. And when that happens, you have a ton of different people that are using the same type of music. So it's like it's not really exclusive anymore. Now you kind of feel like it's like, man, like you just made something that I just made. You know what I mean? So now what? Like now what am I gonna do? This is supposed to be my single. This is supposed to be my growth, and I feel like I can't grow if you're trying to promote the same thing, right? So honestly, and I'll say from my standpoint, I think it's going to shift dramatically to the exclusive environment for music, because the fact is there's so much, but there is a lot of music out there too, right? So it's a double-edged sword. There's a lot of music out there for you to purchase. But I think that being more exclusive and having that opportunity to be like, I'm the only one that has this music, that's where it's coming to. Like, that's the shift that I see happening. Because nobody wants to be on the same thing that everybody else is on. I mean, it doesn't make you special or unique as an artist. You know, you're just doing the same thing as somebody else is doing.
But inversely, you have...
Besides your theory.
Inversely, you have, like, some genres of music that'll have the same rhythm, and they'll have, like, 20, 50, 70 different artists on there making that different songs on the same beat.
Yeah. No, and I fully understand that, and that's the thing is that like sometimes it can work. I've seen it work, but it just discourages me anyways when I see like a ton of people bought the same thing. You know what I mean? It's kind of discouraging. It's like, well, you know, it doesn't really feel like it's special anymore. It's like you guys all have the same thing I have. You know, that's why I started making music in the first place.
Oh,
right?
Okay. Yeah, no, I hear you. I often look at the options that are available to me, and it's just like, well, if it's going to be that, then I might as well do this. I have a folder of instrumentals that I haven't really even cracked into that I've made myself, and it's just like, because of the way I'm trying to do things, it doesn't really help my situation, but like, I've handed a few of them out, and I've gotten good responses from them. Got a couple tracks written up on them. You know what I mean? So I know that's something that I can do, like aside from the fact that I've done like music or audio production for like 27 years. So
Wow.
yeah.
That's a long time.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. So you know what I mean? And that's across a couple different instruments. What up, Terrell family? Oh man. But yeah, so how have you been? It's been a while since we've actually crossed paths.
I've been busy. Really busy. I mean, I have a day job that I have to work. I'm in the process of building a membership platform. It's been in the making for like 4 years now, and I actually haven't had a chance to finish this thing until recently. So now I have an opportunity, a path to go where I can build it in the background, and I'm doing social media work. You know, I work with businesses. There's actually quite a few local businesses that I'm working with, doing, you know, little ad campaigns and stuff for them just to kind of fill in the blanks because my day job isn't always steady. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So sometimes I don't have steady hours. And that's another thing, too, is that a lot of, a lot of the times when I feel like it discouraged, it's like, well, you know, you're working for this, right? Like, that's how dedicated I am, is that if I need to do something different to get the money in order to be able to do what I want to do, I'm willing to do that. It takes like a crazy work ethic to be able to chase your dream, especially if it's in music, because it's expensive.
Entertainment production, oh my gosh.
Right?
It is, you're right. I'm sitting here and I'm looking, like as you're talking, I'm sitting here thinking, yeah, you're right. I got 4 podcasts. You know what I mean? That's 4 different days of the week where I'm tied up for minimum 2 hours. You know what I mean? And then you got the advocacy, and then the contacting these political entities, and then the families. So, and I just got the one here, so I can only imagine, you know what I mean? How much caffeine or energy it must take for you to get through.
Yeah, no, and was gonna say, like, I have 4 kids, man. You know what I mean? So it's like it's not easy to be able to do the things that I love to do. It's the best way to do it is to be able to schedule things like in a calendar, to manage your time effectively and schedule yourself out, because that's the only way you'll survive in a situation like mine. Like being able to working and then being a full-time dad and then doing all of this extra stuff in the background. It's not easy. It takes a lot of energy and it takes a lot of time. So it's like, to anybody else who's out there doing the same thing, I applaud you, because it's not easy. Anyone who's doing it knows how hard it is to work in a job, to be able to pursue your dream, like to be able to do what you want to do. It's not easy at all.
It is. It's only as easy as you make it. And you know what I mean? Like, exactly. And sometimes you gotta take a break for yourself. You gotta, you know what I mean? You gotta rest to rejuvenate, because it's like, if you work too hard, you'll end up burning out, and then you'll have to put the work on the side anyway. So it's better to take that time out before you burn out, and then just, recover, regenerate, and then, reestablish. All right, Jessica was in here. What up, Jess?
That's good. A mistake, I guess a mistake I could say that I've made that maybe somebody else can learn from is having too many things on the go at once. Having too many things on the go and not being able to handle every single thing. That is a really, really difficult thing to do. And I crashed, right? Like probably within a month, I crashed right away. Realized that I had to kind of, take a couple of things off my plate. So I guess a good piece of advice in that situation is to learn when to say no, when to say, nah, I can't do that, man. I got too much on the go. Because sometimes it's hard, because you want to help other people.
Yep.
You want to do extra things, and you want to be able to, you know what I mean? Sometimes I've put projects down. I've said, no, I can't do that. Even people are willing to pay. Like, they're willing to pay money. And I said, no, I can't. I got too much on the go. And that's a hard thing to do, especially when you're in a certain financial circumstance, right?
Yeah.
So,
it's hard sometimes, but like I have this thing, and I have these physical triggers that let me know when I'm doing too much. It's like I'll start to get a migraine. Like it'll be a twinge of a pain in my eye, and then it'll start to spread along the left side of my brain, the left side of my brain, and then it'll just dig into my cerebral cortex. And that's when I have to stop everything. It's like, you know what I mean? I'm out for 2 days after something like that. So I gotta make sure that I gotta take time every day, like at least an hour a day, to try and, you know what I mean? It's not all at once. It can never be all at once, because there's too much to happen in an hour. But you know what I mean? I gotta take that time to just, regenerate and refuel, and then continue on the course.
Right. I mean, it's not easy. Like I said, everybody knows it's not easy, but if people are that dedicated that they're willing to work full time and do all of these things just so they can have that little bit of time where they can make the music that they're passionate about, or whatever it is, that they could be a graphic designer, it doesn't matter what it is, and they do all of this extra work to be able to have that time, that's somebody who's going to make it. It's only a matter of time with that level of dedication, you know what I mean? And then there's people who give up, right? Because it gets too hard. I've had friends in my life in the past that have just said, no, I don't do that anymore, man. It's too much, I got too much on the go. And it's just, you have to be able to, the amount of work that is involved is absolutely insane to be able to maintain something like that. If you got all the time in the world to sit around and do that stuff, well then, I applaud you. I would definitely pursue it if I had that much time, but I really don't. So it's like most of the time I'm learning or I'm doing something else that's going to help me tomorrow when I try and do something and save me time. Right?
Yeah. And time is one thing you can never get back. You can spend $10, but if you waste 10 minutes, you're not getting the same return. You know what I mean?
No, you will not.
That is one thing I hold very valuable to my, I ensure that I have enough time for my family first, and then whatever friends and functions follow. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, the family is the one who's here through those migraines and through those aches and pains and, you know what I mean, those complications. And they help to get you through them. You know what I mean? Whereas there are some, fair weather friends There are fair weather friends who are there when it's convenient, and you know, like I've dealt with enough of those over the years. I don't have words for them that are polite.
I was gonna say I think it's better to weigh it as as it comes, because like I said, if you learn when to say no in the proper situations, then it doesn't matter if that's what that person wants to do or not. You're still gonna be like, no, you know what? I mean, I don't have time for that. I'm sorry, I can't. Or I can refer you to somebody who can do that. Like if they want something done in a certain time frame, I'll say, you know what? I know a guy who has a studio, or I know a guy who has a radio show, or I know a guy who has this and who has that. And if that's something that you want to do, I'd be happy to refer you to that. But I cannot do it because I do not have the time.
See, you're mad polite with it. So. You're mad polite.
Exactly. I mean, exactly. But, sometimes, there's things do happen, right? Sometimes mistakes are made, and something it doesn't turn out on time, or it doesn't turn out exactly the way you wanted it to.
Yeah.
And if that person really is legitimate, they'll be able to understand that, like, this guy's got a crazy schedule, and, like, he tried, he did his best, and it didn't work out. So, I mean, I know this is trailing way off of the original part of your conversation about promoters, but, I mean, if you want to even bring it back into that sense, you can. Being a promoter, it's like you're very, very busy. You have to be out there all the time promoting your music and everything else. Do you have time to sit there and talk to somebody for an hour on the phone about what they're doing or about what they want to do? You know what I mean? You got to be out there selling tickets, man. You got to be online promoting your event, right? So it's like you got to just pick and choose when the time, what you're going to use it for, and how valuable that time actually is, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
It's a choice you got to make.
And it's you see, as much as it is a matter of time, it's also a matter of timing. Like, you got to know when to strike.
Right.
You know what I mean, so to speak. Because, like, if you were to go to St. Catharines on a Thursday evening, you would probably see nothing. Nothing happening, really. But if you go on a Saturday night, my gosh. Like, it's busy everywhere. What's up, Otis? What up, Terp?
That's starting to, that's starting to shift too. There are some times during the week. I remember they had Mondays at Pepper. It was like a Monday or something, or a Sunday or a Monday, and it was packed. And it was because it was just something that they promote specifically on that low day when there's barely any people there, and then they make that the special night or the special theme or whatever. And they had students all the way down the street past Mansion House. Like they were packed. And it was like Monday or Sunday, right? I think it really depends on who it is, the following, and it also depends on, like you said, the timing. The timing could say, yeah, it's on a Monday or it's on a Sunday, but they only do it during the school season because most of the people that go there are students. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they only do it during the school time, right?
Okay.
So that, like, what you're saying does apply. The timing has to be right, because if it's not during the school season, you're not going to get anybody at your club. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that is correct.
Yeah, yeah. No, I'm just saying, like, and that's just sometimes overlooked. You know what I mean? And it takes a collective. Like, everybody has to do their part. Like, if every person who was performing, let's say, were to bring 5 people, and you had 5 people, and those 5 people were to each bring 2 people, you'd be able to fill the place. But, like, I think the saturation of technology has caused it to be, like, you now know, instead of hearing about 2 or 3 events and deciding on one, you know about 15 and want to go to 4 or 7 of them. You know what I mean? And they're all on the same day, but you want to go here for a drink there and have your designated driver bring you to the next one. It's like, it's like there's so much happening now that it's almost complicated for a promoter to actually rein anybody in.
I think the issue is that there's more promoters and there's more events, and you know what I mean? Like, in some areas, in some places, there's more events happening than there is people attending. And that's a problem. I mean, if you're in a city like Toronto, you know what I mean? Like, if you're in Toronto and you're promoting an event, I mean, that's a big, big city. You can probably get a lot of people there if you do the proper promotion and everybody knows about it. You can probably pack the place. You you know. But if you're sitting in St. Catharines, you know what I mean, when there's only a certain amount of people and only going out in a certain time frame, and then that's when everybody is trying to get their attention and trying to bring them into what they're doing. I mean, it's a mosh pit, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, if you're talking about the people who do like the rap shows or the
oh, there's a Facebook fail right there. Well, the Facebook has disconnected, so we are trying to see what can happen to return Mr. Jones to... There we go. All right. Yeah. Okay, there was a disconnect. Well, what were you saying now?
I just said that there's a difference between something that happens so frequently, like every Friday, and then something that happens once in a while. Like,
yeah.
I think what you're talking about when you say promoters is people who are promoting events that don't happen all the time.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, those are the instances, and that can't really, like, every promoter has to develop a following in order to be successful, and I find that you can't just do a one-off thing and find that success. But it would probably be better if, like, more people were to try to work together on that, kind of on the promotion tip. You know what I mean? Like, if, say, I'm doing a show this week and you're doing a show next week, I can promote your show if you promote my show. You know what I mean? Same kind of deal. But it's not running like that. It's, I'm keeping my people over here with me, and I don't want them to like you, so I'm gonna say stuff about you that might be untrue, but keeps the people with me.
Well, it sounds like you're being pretty specific when you're saying that. It sounds like something happened that you're talking about.
I like to be vague sometimes. I like to be vague.
Well, from what you're saying, it sounds like you're talking about a specific situation. But, like,
no.
I mean, more or less, there is not a shortage of people going to events.
No.
That is something that I would say directly, first of all. There's not a shortage of people going to events. So I guess it all depends on who's going to be there. So who's at this event. That's why everybody wants to get a headliner, because they want somebody like a big name there, so people go to the event, right? And then, what people do you already have? Like, do you have an email list of people that go to your events? I would reach out to them by email. You know, there's another way to sell tickets and make them aware without having to, like, post an ad or, you know what I mean, message them personally.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it doesn't really matter, I guess, but, like, you send an email out to everybody, then they'll all know about your event, and then you can lock down the amount of people. You can pretty much estimate how many people you can get out to this event because of your list. So I have 500 people. If I message them, we'll say maybe 50-60% of them show up, so I can guarantee that amount of people. Then you start getting into bigger events, right? Because now you have a guarantee. You know, it's not just, I'll try and sell this many tickets, and we'll see what happens. It's like, no, this is at the rate that people show up and respond, so I can guarantee this amount of people. And that's the next level of promotion. That's not like a small time thing. Like, once you can start doing that and get shows packed, you know what I mean? You and I both know artists that are able to do that on their own.
I know, right? But the problem is for me is the artists that will pack a show won't often work on the same card. You know what I mean? It's okay. You know what I mean? Like, there's some people that won't work with other people, and, like, each of them have a following, so you got to decide, okay, like, you know what I mean? Am I going to bring them on, or am I going to, like, it's hard to be, like, you're one of the few people I find to be in a diplomatic position, whereas you are your own entity, but you work with other individuals. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, you know what, though? The thing that disappoints, now that you brought it up, the thing that disappoints me the most, I think, is that when you're going to one of these events, there's like a crazy headliner or something that's coming, like a crazy band is showing up downtown, or somebody that's really well known. Well, everybody that goes to this event, like the other artists that are underneath this person, are all excited, and they're all like, yeah, I get to be on this thing too. I get to be on stage and everything else, and they're all excited about it.
Yeah.
But chances are that person doesn't even show up until like 10:30, 11 o'clock, does their set, and then just leaves. So it's like, they're all excited about being there and being a part of something that big headliner is doing, but then they come in, do their set, and then just leave. It's like they don't even network with these people. So kind of, I guess it would be discouraging for me as an artist, because it's like, I thought that I was going to be side by side with this guy, and doing all this cool stuff.
Okay.
It's like, no, man, that guy's only coming there for his set, and then he's going back on his party bus, and he's leaving the event. And it's like, stuff like that is kind of discouraging. I know there's other events like backstage pass things.
Yeah.
I know there's other ones, but for the most part, that's something that was like, that kind of sucks.
Like when Obi Trice came down, he was late. So he was supposed to do a meet and greet at 6, but like it was winter, the roads weren't that great. So he was late. He ended up doing his show either way, and he spent more time with each person after the fact. Like the people who bought the VIP passes, like he spent more time with them, like discussing whatever it was. And he gave some good advice, you know what I mean? So, like, I'd like to believe that there are people who would give the talent the time as much as there are people who don't.
Well, it's because you got to think, right? Like that.
We have another Facebook fail. That's our second Facebook fail. If you let me know how many Facebook fails we have this episode, you could potentially win a prize. We'd have to figure out what that prize would be. Maybe we'll send you an ETN keychain or something.
Still there?
Yeah, I'm here. All right. All right. So you were saying now?
Oh, no, I was just saying that, I like that. The fact that you mentioned the Opie Trice show, like I saw the pictures after the fact. I wasn't personally there, but I did see that he was taking pictures of people and networking and stuff like that. I like that. Yeah. I think that actually, because you got to think, that guy, you look up to that guy. You know what I mean? Like, you look up to this artist, and you're like, oh, man, I'm so excited to be in here, right? To be beside him or whatever.
Yeah.
And that level of, it's like he inspires you, so it's probably in your best interest, even if you are the headliner, to network with these kids, right? Because they're also fans. They're not just artists, but they're fans of your music, too.
I gave him a copy of my album and my EP, and you know what I mean? He received it, like he genuinely received it, like it was of importance. He's like, yeah, this you? All right, cool. I'm going to take a listen to this on the way up. You know what I mean? So it's like, it didn't sound like he was just yanking my chain. And no, he didn't call me after the fact. But at the same time, I don't know what strings could have been pulled. Because I am performing more. You know what I mean? So, like, there's influence where it is. You know what I mean?
No, just to kind of follow up on what you said before, anyways.
What's up, Nicola?
The more that I see this happening with the promotions, like the more that I see this type of the way the events are structured, I see less and less people. I don't know. You tell me. Less and less people going out to shows. Yes or no? I mean,
in a timeline, it varies because it depends on when it is. Like I did a show on May 18th, and the venue wasn't full. It wasn't packed, but there was a sizable number of people there, inside and outside. I did an event on the 27th, and the turnout wasn't the same. So in the course of time, it has decreased, but we're also looking at the fact that this is a show that's being hosted in college town, as they say. And July is when college is out, so you know what I mean? There's not much to say there's not much there by way of the student body who would attend these events.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I'm not in the event business, so I mean, I can only give my personal opinion in the matter and the things that I've seen as an outsider, but I'm not in the event business, so I can't really speak specifically to how it's conducted or whatever, but I do agree with, looking at the environment.
You know what? There's actually, I believe Nicola does do event promoting. She just joined us in the lobby. So, like, maybe she can provide some insight as to what it would take to hold a successful event in a college town kind of thing. Because I think that's what the main, one of the main shortcomings is for this area. Is like 4 months out of the year, a good part of the economy is gone. So
yeah, it's and not to mention you gotta think too. I mean, it's a small area as it is, right? So I mean, you can only get so far. And see, she's saying right now, Niagara is definitely a college university region. Summertime, we lose all these people. Most of which spend some time in bars each week. See, exactly. Yeah. So they're on the weekly, like they're doing the every week thing, and there's a smaller number of them because it's summer, right?
More shows during the school
year.
And then
you have what, Frosh Week? You can say that, Frosh Week for Brock University. You have all kinds of things going on with Niagara College. Like, the event list starts rising as soon as school starts again, right?
Yep. I hear you on that one. I think the next show we have a show planned for, we're planning a show for October. So, the school's back in. That's all the details I can really divulge right now, because I still have to confirm some information, but definitely, excuse me. See, that's definitely something to take into consideration. The time of the year that these events are being held, because of the location of the people who are actually going to be attending these events. Yeah. So that's what's up. So we are right now, since we're talking about shows and promoting shows, I'm going to talk about Monty's Gastropub on August 9th. I believe ASI is holding an event there. I got the thumbs up from the Wifenger. ASI is holding an event there, and
drop the mic.
Drop
the mic, Niagara.
No, that's August 31st. The 9th is just the underground. And Zach Burry will be performing there. I just did a performance August 3rd in Hamilton, where I released my new single, Body Language. Get that on all streaming platforms. The idea of being able to win a portion of the entrance fee, which you did last show, that was an interesting pitch. I'd like to do that again. Actually, you know what? Someone did win it, and they were happy to win it. Jake actually won. Fat shouts to Chronic Spirit for winning the 50-50 draw. And then what else do we got? Taps Brew House at 4680 Queen Street in Niagara Falls. I will be performing there at the Lund Variety Show. Yeah.
There's the tickets for that. $5?
The tickets.
$5 a ticket.
For the 9th show.
My kids are here. I gotta get going, buddy.
All right, cool. Yeah, man. Thanks for the time. What's up?
Yeah, later.
All right. Yeah, so we got $5 on the tickets at Monty's Gastropub, and at Taps, I believe it's free entry, but feel free to buy something to eat. You know what I mean? Exactly. Everybody wants to win money, and that's why we did it that way. We went that way, and you know what? It was a good idea. I just think we just gotta continue plugging away at the crowd. They gotta continue to see, you know what I mean, the Expose the North banner. They gotta continue to see the Expose the North brand and feel comfortable with what we're doing before they actually come out to them. This event that we're having. I want to take some time to shout out, you know what I mean, some of the local cats that are doing their thing. You know what I mean? There's this thing, Coalition. You know what I mean? Stoddy P, Zone, Chronic Spirit. You know what I mean? You got Interp. You got the newest member, Cartoon. You know what I mean? I affiliate with this organization. Soon to have broke, so that's excited for them. Yes, it's so true. Like, you see what I'm talking about? So the idea works. The idea would work. It's just a matter of getting the idea into the minds of the others. Because the way I see it is, if we got the turnout we did on May 18th, we can get a better turnout. But yeah, so we got Choom Gang, you know what I mean? There's Rebel, Darrell, Jorel, Ezza, Teely, you know what I mean? I got Rest in Peace, Chuck, you know what I mean? They're doing their thing. Ezza's got the EP Enlit on smarturl.it/ENLIT. We got some tracks from this thing. We got some tracks from Choom Gang that will play on the Tyrell Effect this Saturday after Hardline, which is on this Friday. You know what I mean? Private Music, shout them out. They're making moves. He's making moves, you know what I mean? Just recruited another talented artist. Man. Gotta shout out to Weifinger because she holds it down, keeps my schedule on point, keeps me on point, you know what I mean? And things. Yeah. Just celebrated our 6th anniversary. Oh, man. There's just so much to talk about. There's so much to do. What else can we talk about while we have you? Underachievers 3. That's going to be soon to be released. I believe I have a feature on that piece. The Beast. We got SummerSlam in the 6th, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, that has me so hyped for so many reasons. SummerSlam in the 6th? WWE? What do you mean? Okay, here's a little bit of background. I used to watch wrestling with my grandpa, God rest his soul. So that's one of the few things I have left to share his memory or to keep his memory intact. And you know what? I've come to like it. I share it with my family. We're all going out to enjoy the spectacle of the ages. The biggest party of the summer. Your boy, the Block, is going to be in full effect. And what more can I say? Except I said I was going to do it, and I did it. Now, I'm not going to be at SummerSlam itself. I'm going to be at SmackDown Live, because SummerSlam was way too expensive for your boy. It's $500 a ticket, and no, I wasn't paying that. Sorry. No, it wasn't happening. But, you know, we did have a compromise, and we're going to SmackDown Live. That's just what it is. We're going to be in the crowd. I'm going to have my belt. I'm going to have my title belt. I'm showing y'all on Facebook Live my title belt. That's just so... I made that myself. I'm going to bring that, see if I can get another signature or something. You know what I mean? It is what it is. What else is going on? I got tracks that I got to finish. I mean, I got collaborations with Jube Electron. I just finished a collaboration with Ezza. I have a collaboration with Jess Z and Terp. So I gotta get that finished. You know what I mean? I'm just letting y'all know what I gotta deal with, so y'all can talk to me. What else? I got CDs to burn. I got files to catalog. I got my set to practice. And I also have to relax, which I can't do with all of that aforementioned stuff to do. But, you know, you got to schedule time to relax as well, apparently. You never really know when life's going to catch up with you, so you want to make sure you're prepared for it. Relaxation, the best thing for you. See that? See how I made relaxation like a commercial for relaxation? I do this. Either way, we're on another episode of Candid Conversations. This is episode 10. I figured I'd feature myself. These are the thoughts of yours truly, David the Block Tyrell. Some of you probably confused. Why do you call himself David? Why do you call himself the Block? Listen, there's entities within my person that personify themselves. I'm just trying to do the best I can to put some information on the shelves. For all of y'all to hear like you was gifted by elves, what you can do to improve your wealth. Get some property, wait. Get some gold and keep it properly, wait. Build on your property, wait. Maintain the property of your estate, wait. That's literally what you have to do. Like, get a property and then wait. And then, you know, take care of it. Build it up. You know what I mean? You can get some gold because it's you know, supposed to be in the banks and stuff. But if you buy it, then you're restoring some some value to the currency system. You know what I mean? These are things that people don't want you to know. These are things that people don't want you to hear because it takes away from them. And Lord knows you don't want to be a corporation making billions of dollars and having to return any portion of it back to the people who made it for you. Man, I'd like to thank David Jones for coming on. C Notes came onto the podcast earlier, and he was dropping some gems about marketing and developing one's brand. These are things we need to do. Yeah, once you make the music, making the music's hard is a challenge. I'm not even gonna say it's hard. Making the music can be challenging, but the road after the music is made is the one that's complicated, because you have to think about how you're gonna market it, and then you have to promote it in a way that takes that establishes a brand, and then you're gonna after that brand is established, you're gonna have to stay true to the character that is displayed by that brand. There's a lot that goes into it. You don't want to release a thugnificent song on Valentine's Day. That is just poor timing. That's just not right. Okay? Like, actually, no, never mind, because if you do talk about a song that has a massacre anywhere in there, technically it'd be accurate to releasing it on Valentine's Day. But it would take away from the corporate personification of Valentine's Day, or a corporate perspective or projection. I know a lot of P words. Philosophically speaking, there are a lot of things we can do to improve the quality of life. Find one person a day, and do something good for them. Don't know how to balance their checkbooks. Maybe you could just hold the door open. Maybe you could just do something good for the environment. How about you pick up a little bit of garbage when you see it on the floor? Put it in the garbage bin. Those are things that can be done to improve the quality of life. But why aren't we doing them? Because it's not our job. Ladies and gentlemen, if that becomes the perspective of the generations to come, we are all fornicated beyond reasonable consideration. There's no way I can let my child disregard her responsibilities to herself. And that sometimes is what is happening in this world. We're letting kids do things that really shouldn't be done. And I'm not knocking the kids, but you notice they have nowhere to play anymore? There's no parks, there's no roller rinks, there's no basketball courts, there's no hockey setups. Not within reach. Smallest gestures can make the biggest impact. Yes, that is so true. That blows everything I was saying out of the water. Thank you for upstaging me on my own show. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. But it's true. Like, if we were to take the time to show, like, if love were to spread as quickly as hate, if we were to say, I like that, as quickly as we were to say, can you believe, that would be a whole dramatic difference. That would be a whole change in the world. That would be a change in the world. No, it's all good. It's all good. You've dropped some seriously interesting information in here, and it's what, like, people hopefully will read as they come on. I know. Oh, man. And for those of you who can't see what's going on, Nicola, who's in the Facebook live chat, apologized, but she was just agreeing with me about the smallest gestures actually being able to have great and significant impact. We got about 10 minutes left on this podcast because I got to get going. I got a band practice and things to handle. I don't even want to talk too much about it right now, because we just got to establish a few things, and once those things are established, then I'll give you the information on them. Until then, I'm just working in the band. after my podcast. Getting ready for another podcast after a podcast. Plus, I got to perform after each podcast. Am I repeating myself too much? I'm sorry, it's shameless self-promotion. I was told that it works for the benefit of those who use it. Ladies and gentlemen, be sure to check out... Wait, I'm going to promote my show. Well, I'm going to promote their shows. Check out the Viz Show, Sunday, 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. on 468q.ca, as well as Indie Rocks on Thursday, 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. That's with Christy Hales. Then you can check out my shows. Wednesday, we have Candid Conversations at 6 p.m. on Spreaker.com and Facebook Live. On Thursday, I don't have a show. I'm usually at Bend. Check me out. Alright. On Friday, we have Hardline with Interp and DeBlock. That's where we talk about letsbeef.com and all the things that happen on that site. Letsbeef.com, the world's #1 rap battle website. Now available on mobile. Oh, you can battle live from your mobile device. I've been waiting to say that for at least a decade. But we can say it now. Pixel Dreams, holla at your boy. Alright, and then Saturday, we have the Terrell Effect. That starts at 12 p.m. That starts at 12 p.m. We got Zach Burry in the room. Oops. Alright, that starts at 12 p.m. and runs till about 3 o'clock. That's where I play the latest from the soon-to-be greatest in this statosphere. None but the Most High. Ice cream. Sorry, I go on a tangent from time to time. But, check me out on the Tyrell Effect. Usually I feature an artist, or you get more of my glowing personality. And then on Sundays, Tough Talks with Tilly and the Block. That's a podcast where we go over combat sports in general. That means WWE, NXT, NJPW, AEW, and UFC. The major brands, plus, we might talk about a little Ring of Honor and, some of the other brands as well. But we got Zach Burry in here, and he's going to be performing not tomorrow. He's going to be performing on Friday at Monty's Gastropub. And I believe I will be in the building as well. Yes, I will. Uh-huh. It's going to be fun. I can't wait. Yeah. Oh, man. This gentleman was at the performance on August 3rd, and he was a spontaneous eruption. He really was. So you just got to watch out for him, Zach Burry. Look out for Seek to Be dropping everywhere on August 9th. I have 11 songs on Spotify. DeBlock, DABLOCK. Search Story to Tell or Get to Know Me or Breathe Easy or what else? Body Language. I got Decisions. I got the one. I'm on so many tracks. Silent Moves. I mean, vote for your boy when it comes to the Niagara Music Awards. Tell him about the shows. Yeah, man. I'm telling him about the shows just now. August 9th, we'll be at Monty's Gastropub in St. Catharines, 547 Ontario Road. And Taps Brew House will be August 10th in Niagara Falls at 4680 Queen Street. Come check us out. We will be there performing. I gotta check a message here. Boom. Other stuff planned, but thanks anyways. Wow. You know what I love? When people tell me that they want to do something with me, and then I say, hey, let's do this, and then they act like they're too good to do it. That's okay. Either way, back to my show. We got 5 minutes left. Man, so the shows we let them know about, we got, what is it? Splurge? No. Sprung? No. Either way, we about to close out. Check out Soul Official Films on YouTube. Look up Expose the North. Blog Basic Studios on YouTube was where you can catch the podcast that they don't put a block on. Because for some strange reason they put a block on the block when he talks. You won't see a block on this one because I'm not using anybody's copywritten music. So take that, individuals, Facebook and YouTube. I was going to swear at him. If you send me some links, photos, I definitely will. Oh man, Nicola, you are awesome. I appreciate that. I gotta get you and the wife and Jerry into a conversation about October, so that we can get some perspectives on how to make this as good as it can be. ETN, yeah, buddy. So we might close it a few minutes early because that's just how we do. I'd like to thank all those who are a part of this, who listen, those of you who tuned in, those of you who will tune in, those of you who stay tuned in. Man, this has been another episode of Candid Conversations where we just shoot the breeze. That's probably a poor choice of words given the last weekend. Either way, all the best. Bless up. Black out.